One of my absolute favorite fall features in the garden has to be the blooming of the grasses. Right now, I'm surrounded by my favorite grass to use within the landscape. This is the Pennisetum family, or fountain grass. There's about 15 named cultivars of fountain grass, and as you can see, we have most of them here at Bountiful Gardens. They can range anywhere from 1 to 4 feet tall, tolerate full sun up to partial shade, but will get more flowers the more sun that you give them. The way that you can identify this grass is by the slender, long foliage that as the season progresses takes on a graceful, arching appearance. That's how it gets its name, fountain grass. And then as the summer progresses into fall, each grass gets these bottlebrush-like plumes at the top of it that can range in color depending on the variety and also range in bloom time depending on the variety as well. In front of me is calamagrosis or reed grass. This is a large family of grasses with over 250 different species in existence, and we have a great selection here at Bountiful Gardens. Reed grass is a non-invasive grass that stays in a nice tight clump, so you don't have to worry about it spreading throughout the property, and it can even take a moister soil. I personally love to use reed grasses in areas where I'm looking for a soft privacy wall. They will grow to about 3 to 5 feet tall and stay very, very narrow. A reed grass is a perfect choice because it will continue to flow with the breeze and not provide too much of a strong barrier between you and the outside world. If you're looking for one of the most versatile grass-like perennials that you can use in your landscape, you really need to take a look at Liriope or lily turf. Liriope is classified into 2 major categories, one being muscari and one being spicata. The variety that we carry at Bountiful Gardens is muscari, which is a clumping variety. Both the green Liriope and the variegated Liriope will form small mounds about 12 to 24 inches tall and 12 to 24 inches wide. Some of the amazing features about this grassy guy: it can stay an evergreen in mild winters. This can tolerate full sun almost up to full shade, which is very unique when it comes to a grass-like plant. It is also extremely deer resistant, can tolerate moist soils, and you have the added bonus of these purple grape hyacinth-like flowers in the summertime.
Thanks, Joe. And while we have an awesome selection of ornamental grasses, we have a huge selection of native grasses, coming in different shapes, sizes, and ones that will fit your various site conditions. So if you're thinking about planting native, including native grasses in your landscape is super important for a variety of reasons. They hold the soil together very well, preventing soil erosion. They also support a variety of different insects from their larval stages all the way to adulthood. And in addition to that, they have beautiful seed heads and a lot of color through fall into winter, giving you interest later in the season when a lot of flowers aren't in bloom. This awesome native grass is called Schizocherium scoparium, and try saying that 3 times fast. Also known as little bluestem, this grass is great for dry, sunny locations. We have varieties like chameleon here, getting about 18 to 24 inches tall. We also have the traditional standing ovation that gets about 2 to 4 feet tall. We also sell the straight species here, which can get up to 7 feet tall. Here we have one of my favorite native grasses, Panicum virgatum, also known as switchgrass. This plant can send roots as deep as 6 feet into the soil, and sometimes even deeper. It can do well in dry or wet standing soil, so it's a very versatile plant. We have a few different varieties: Niagara Falls, which gets about 4 feet. We have Prairie Sky, which is anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. Behind me, we have Shenandoah, which is about 3 to 4 feet. And we also sell the straight species, which can get to a whopping 10 feet tall. Around me is Andropongon gerardii, also known as Big Bluestem. This water-loving grass will do great in any moist pocket in your garden. We have this awesome cultivar called Red October that gives you this purple-red foliage in fall and gets about 4 to 6 feet tall. We also sell the straight species that gets anywhere from 4 to 8 feet tall. Another great native grass we have at Bountiful Gardens is Muhly capillaris, also known as pink muhly grass. This grass gets about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide and prefers dry to moist, sandy, well-draining soils. It gets this beautiful pink fluffy seed head just about now and gets even more pronounced as the fall season continues.
Like Dan was saying, grasses provide a whole host of beneficial insects with a source of both food and shelter from predatory insects like dragonflies, which use the tall grasses to search for beneficial insects to eat. It's a really good way of feeding the cycle of nature in your backyard. In addition, birds and other small critters rely on the seed heads of grasses as a source of food throughout the winter, and as shelter when the snow weighs down the blades of grass, creating habitats and pockets of air underneath the cold. For some species, like the grasshopper sparrow, grasses are their entire habitat, providing plentiful food and structure to create their nests at the base of the plants. And if all those wildlife benefits aren't enough, they're a gorgeous, fluffy addition to any garden.
That's right, Ike. Not only do they add a lovely fluffy texture to your garden, but they can also add that same fluffy texture into cut flower arrangements. I love seeing grasses as an addition to any garden, and part of the reason for that is probably because I'm from the prairie lands of the Midwest. And not only do grasses bring me an immense sense of home, they also bring me a sense of peace as I watch them wave with the wind.
I think Amelia may have said it best. Nothing brings such a sense of peace to a space quite like an ornamental grass, especially when they're dancing in the breeze. And no matter your site conditions, you're sure to find a grass that fits perfectly in your landscape. And now that you're a grass guru, it's time to come down to Bountiful Gardens and pick out that perfect grass today. So thanks again for joining us on yet another one of our deep dives. We'll see you next time.